Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a get ready with me for a hot date. Maybe not a hot date, just a regular date. We're just going out to a movie tonight, but I thought it'd be fun to sit down and share my makeup look with you guys. I have a couple of things to try out that are new to me, also some old favorites that I wanted to pull in. A few of the new things I have to try out for you guys are the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. I also have a Maybelline Fit Me blush. I know these have been around forever, but I've never actually tried them, so we're going to try this out today. I picked up one more of the All May lipsticks. This one is in the color Worry Less. And I also have a new eyeshadow palette that was sent to me just yesterday, actually. I got this. This is the Crystal Impressionism palette from Folklore Cosmetics. So we're going to try this thing out today, along with probably a couple of other little single eyeshadows that I'm going to pair with that. I know that's a lot of makeup to get on, so we better get into the video. Before we do, special welcome to those of you that are newer to my channel. I hope that you'll consider subscribing if you have not yet done that. And with that said, let's jump right in. Alright, so we're going to kick things off with a little bit of primer. I'm going to go in with the Garnier Glow Boost Illuminating Moisturizer. It is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I did my skincare today at like 9:30 this morning, so I definitely need another layer of moisture before I go in with foundation. So I think I'm going to do my face first, just because most of these shimmer shades we're using are kind of cream shadows. So we're going to go in with the foundation first. This is from Maybelline. This is the Dream Urban Cover Foundation. Maybelline has two newer foundations, and I kind of was going back and forth between the two. They both are kind of part of this urban line, but one is in a glass bottle. I believe that one is called a hydrating foundation, but I decided to go with this one. I have it in the shade Classic Ivory. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good shade match for me, which I'm always grateful for. When it comes to drugstore foundations, it is always tough to shade match at the drugstore. I'm just going to blend this in with a beauty sponge. Speaking of shade matching, I just placed an order yesterday from two places, both Ulta's website and also the Elf Cosmetics website. And from Ulta, I ended up picking up the new Wet n Wild Hydrating Foundation and also the new Hydrating Concealer from Elf, which I've been wanting to try for quite a while now. However, I was watching Samantha March's Friday video today, and she mentioned that the shade is completely different than the same shade from their original 16-hour concealer. But as far as what I picked up from Elf, I have been dying to try their bite-size eyeshadow palette, so I picked up, I think there's about 7 or 8 color stories. I ended up picking up 5 of them. The one that I really wanted, which was the most neutral one, was out of stock, but I picked up all of the other ones with the exception of the blue one. So I will be sure to show you guys some swatches and do a look with at least one of those palettes for you guys when I get them. I am so excited to try them. Alright, so there is the foundation. I feel like that went on really easily. It's nice and very satiny feeling. It does have sunscreen in it. It has an SPF of 50, and I can feel that. I actually can feel that. I don't really think it's a greasy feeling for me personally, but if you know what I'm talking about, when you put sunscreen on, it leaves that kind of like soft, oily film. I can kind of feel that on this foundation. I personally don't mind that, but I have heard some people say they didn't like that about this foundation, so that is one thing to keep in mind. I am someone that always appreciates a little bit of extra SPF, but I know that some people can't really handle SPF. And just so you know, the SPF inside here it's not zinc, so I'm assuming it's a chemical SPF, but it does say it has antioxidant enriched pollution protection, which I always wonder when companies put stuff like that on their products. I'm like, is that a thing? I don't think that's a real thing. It's like back in the 90s when Pantene Pro V came out and they had patented Pro Vitamins. Did anyone ever actually look up that patent? Because I kind of think Pro Vitamins are not a real thing. And they certainly don't come in a pill shape and open up onto an animated hair follicle, making your hair follicle perfectly smooth. Anyone remember those commercials? Okay, that's enough blending. Let's move into some concealer. So I'm going to take the Elf 16-Hour Concealer. I have 2 shades here. I have the shade Medium Sand and Medium Peach. Here's what I'm concerned about. So Samantha actually swatched, I think she had Medium Sand if I remember right, and she swatched the original one next to the newer one. And the newer one was significantly dark. This one's actually like a perfect shade match for me, and that really kind of irritated me that like Elf wouldn't have tested the shades. If they're going to call them the same shade, they should really make sure that they are at least a close match to each other before they bottle them up and sell them, because I just feel like that's a little bit misleading. I think anytime you order a foundation or concealer online, it's a gamble. Probably should have just gone to Target and seen if they had these available there. And I think this thing today is truly like scabbed over. There's no way that is getting covered up. I do have this little Bare Minerals Bare Pro stick concealer. I like using stick concealers when I have like a really crusty, nasty breakout. As for this one down here, this is what happens when you watch The Office at 11:30 at night and fall asleep and don't wash off your makeup. And I know better than that, but you know, sometimes it happens to the best of us. I'm just going to take a little bit of that concealer and just pop it under my eyes. So next week is Valentine's Day. I don't know that we're officially counting this date tonight as like our Valentine's Day date, but next week is my son's last home basketball game on Valentine's Day, which I believe is Friday, right? I know that we'll be going to a basketball game on Valentine's Day, which I'm not complaining about. I love watching high school basketball. Anyone else out there that's been married for a while and Valentine's Day rolls around, it's not that I don't still enjoy Valentine's Day. My husband usually does something really sweet. It's very simple for us and I kind of love that. Maybe when we get home on Friday though, I'll make him watch a chick flick with me. Speaking of chick flicks, he actually doesn't watch chick flicks with me super often because honestly I would rather watch a chick flick on my own than watch one with him if I don't think that he's going to like it. I'm just taking a little bit of the Rimmel powder. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of this onto my cheeks and up on my forehead just to try and help with the settling in my forehead lines right there. I'm also going to put a little bit of powder on my eyelids here. Anyways, but occasionally we'll watch one together, and we recently watched, for the first time for him, we watched Hitch together. That is one of the funniest chick flicks ever. I mean, I love Will Smith. I had the biggest crush on Will Smith when I was in high school, by the way. But I also love Kevin James. I think he is so hilarious. But my husband loved that movie. He was so surprised by how much he enjoyed it. It was a really fun one to watch together. So I'll have to find another good chick flick. Let me know if you guys have a good chick flick recommendation that is also male friendly, like your husbands or boyfriends or whatever enjoy it as well. All right, so now we're going to jump into the eyes. So I got this eyeshadow palette from Folklore Cosmetics. They sent this to me. I think this is a newer release for them. It's called their Crystal Impressionism palette, and this is what it looks like. These shades right here that are kind of speckled, they're really interesting because they're mattes. When I first saw them, I was thinking like the Huda palette that has these speckled shimmer shades in it, but these are actually matte eyeshadows. Some people might think this is a little bit gimmicky because ultimately you don't really know what shade you're going to end up getting, but I think they're kind of fun. We're going to give it a try today, but we're going to kind of stick with like the pinks and purples because I am going to be using some shimmers from probably the Flower Beauty palette and maybe this little Hourglass Scattered Light in the color Molten. But I want to start off by going in with this matte shade right here, which is the color Rose Agate, and I'm going to take that on my Morphe M504 brush. I know I've talked a little bit about these Folklore palettes. I've had a couple comments from some of you guys saying that you didn't really like the quality of these. I really do like their matte formula though. I think it works and builds really nicely. I haven't found any patchiness with any of the palettes that I've tried so far. I do think their shimmers are a little bit thin. They're not like, if you like a rich, buttery, opaque shimmer, kind of along the lines of something like this, you probably won't like their shimmer formula because it's much more of like a topper kind of shimmer. In fact, let's pause and just swatch a few of the shimmers inside here just so you guys can kind of see what they look like. Ooh, I wanted to swatch this blue in the corner, which actually comes off as like a blue gold. You guys see those? See how they're kind of sheer? They remind me a lot of the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, the ones that are more of like topper shades. Okay, I want to take a little bit of this purpley berry. We're going to put a little bit of that in my outer corner. I'm taking my Morphe M507 brush. This one has quite a bit of pigment to it. It's pretty bold. Now I'm going to take that same color on my Juvia's Place small buffer brush, and I'm going to dip into that and then also the brown below it because I don't want this one to be too berry toned. I want it a little bit more brown. I'm just running that under my outer half of my lower lash line. Alright, now I want to go into the Hourglass Scattered Light shadow in the color Molten. I have used this a few times. I don't think I've used it on camera yet though. And I'm just going to take this shade. This one is actually a little bit less of a foil. It's more of a satin that has a little bit of glitter, like really fine glitter sprinkled throughout it. It's not quite as foiled as this shade, which is the color Foil. But I'm just going to take this on the outer half of my lid. And these are really easy to put on. You just basically tap them on in a few seconds and you're done. Quick little tip that I've discovered, if you're ever overlapping different shades of shimmer, I find it helps a lot if you blend away that harsh line before you put the second shade on. It just makes them overlap a lot more seamlessly. And it also makes it so you don't have to work with the shimmer as much. And the more you work with the shimmer, the more that shimmer effect is going to be disturbed or get knocked off. I feel like if you can just minimally touch them, you'll get a better result. Now I'm going to take the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette. I've talked a little bit about this palette towards the end of the year. And I said if you feel like the Hourglass Scattered Lights are out of your budget, or you just feel like $28 or something for one single pot, it's just more than you like to spend, and you want a little more bang for your buck, this palette right here reminds me a lot of those scattered light shadows. This is the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette. You can only buy this, I believe, on Flower Beauty's website. But you guys, I'm telling you guys, this thing is amazing. This was a recommendation to me from Sarah Hubler, and I'm so glad that I picked this up because I just think the formula inside here, it's nice and creamy and shimmery and refined. I mean, just look at this swatch. You'll go nuts. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So that's the color I'm going to take, this kind of taupey purple right there. We're going to put that on the inner half of the lid and kind of overlap this deeper, kind of more warm berry tone on the outer half. You just need the tiniest amount of these two. I mean, one little swipe was almost too much. I can use it for both sides because it's just so creamy and so foiled. Oh, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I like these a lot. I just feel like bang for your buck, these are just as good, if not better, at least than the shades that I've tried personally. But I think that is good for the eyes for now. I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Wet n Wild liner. Then I'm going to add a couple of coats of mascara. I might actually try layering these two mascaras today, the one from Yes Style and also the Milani mascara. See how that goes, and then I will be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so here are the finished eyes. Check out this mascara combination. I feel like it looks pretty amazing. I don't often layer my mascaras, but I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should try doing that more often because this is definitely kind of magical. I don't know, can you guys see how full my eyelashes are? Anyways, let's move on. I did add a little bit of brow product. I used the Ulta Brow Pencil. I do, however, want to go back into this palette and take this kind of matte speckled shade right here and just add a little bit to my brow bone. I think I do just want to take a tiny bit of this dark brown right here and just add a tiny bit of depth right where I put that pencil liner. I like doing this sometimes on top of my liner because I feel like it makes my liner imperceptible. So today we're going to go in with my Milk Bronzer Stick. Believe it or not, I've been giving this thing a little bit of a rest lately just because I've been really into my Kevyn Aucoin palette that I have talked about, I think, once or twice recently, but I do still love this thing. You guys probably know that. I'm going to take that on my Moda Mythical complexion brush, and I just like to tap this in and kind of circle it upwards a little bit. I love this stuff because even though I powdered my cheeks, I was kind of thinking I was going to use my Marc Jacobs bronzer that I hardly ever use. That's one of those products that I'm like, I like it. I don't know why I don't use it as much as I should, but I think it's probably because I get more enjoyment out of using my affordable makeup sometimes because I don't have to feel, I just don't like the idea that I'm thinking, oh, do I like it? Do I not like it? Was it worth the money? Was it not worth the money? Whereas with my affordable makeup, if I like the product, I love that I don't even have to think about whether it was worth the price or not. And that's just kind of a mental block that I have because I'm just a frugal person. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but I also sometimes think it maybe holds me back from enjoying some of my nicer products that maybe are worth the money just because I can't get over the fact that I agonize over how much something cost. Even if it was something that I, had saved up for and could afford buying, I still just always in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking about value. And that, my friends, is one of the reasons why I love this thing, because even though Milk is a higher end makeup brand, the value on this full-size product is incredible. And it works amazing. I mean, there is nothing inside of me that regrets purchasing this. Although the smell is very much a kindergarten Play-Doh crayon kind of smell. Let's go in with highlighter first. I'm going to take my Samantha March and Ofra highlighter today. This is one of my best, more intense highlighters. I love this highlighter. Alright, now for blush, I picked up this from Maybelline. This is their Fit Me blush. I know these have been around forever, but this is my first time trying out one of these. They're super affordable. I think this was only like $4 or $4.50. So I'm going to take that on my Real Techniques brush. This one is in the color Pink Rose. It is a really pretty soft, just dusty neutral pink. I think it will go perfect with this look. And I'm just going to put that right up on the apples of my cheeks. So I'm going to set my cheeks in place a little bit with my L'Oreal Shake and Glow Dew Mist. I'm actually going to kind of cover up my eye, because this mascara, when it gets wet, it can smudge a little bit. Hopefully there's no crying in the movie tonight. I think we're going to see Star Wars, and I'm not a big die-hard Star Wars fan. I doubt that I'll be crying. I'm going to take just a little bit more of the translucent Rimmel powder and just put it on the center of my forehead. And now moving on to the lips. So I'm going to go in with my ColourPop Oh Snap lip liner first. Here's the Oh Snap lip liner. I feel like this is going to be a really good match with the Almay lipstick I got. Again, this is in the shade Worry Less. It's just a hair lighter. I feel like that's going to go really nice with the eye look today. I think I do want to add just a little bit of gloss to the center. I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty gloss in the shade Confetti. This one is pretty. It's like a clear that has like a blue glittery shift. I do love these glosses. Wasn't sure that I would. They're pricey for sure, but I do really love them. Pull the hair down, zoom y'all out. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of this Olaplex product, which by the way has been sitting in my basement pretty much since I bought it. I put it on every now and again when I have like a special occasion, which I've talked about before. I never have really special occasions to where I'll put this on. It's just so expensive for how small it is. If I spend a lot of money on my hair care products, I couldn't buy makeup. And if I have to pick one or the other, I'm gonna pick makeup. Olaplex, I'm sorry, you just don't really have a chance of being repurchased by me. It does work great though, and my heavens, I could walk around with this strapped to my face and just smell it all day because this smells so good. Alright you guys, and this is it for my date night makeup look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. A couple quick thoughts. I just want to run through a couple of the things that I tried out for the first time today. The Dream Cover foundation, I do want to give this a couple of days wear test just to really gather my thoughts. I love how it looks on my skin right now. Again, we'll see how it wears. We'll see if it breaks me out. I don't normally break out from SPF, but I know some people do. The shade match is perfect for me. I don't know if I mentioned the shade match. It's in Classic Ivory. So far, very impressed. I feel like it has a good solid medium coverage. I don't think it's super sheer, but it's also not full coverage, but that's just where I like my foundations typically to be. As for the eyeshadow palette, I mean, I only tried a few shades inside here. I did swatch everything inside here though. I love the mattes. I think have a lot of promise. I love the color story in here. I'm super excited about these two, like bright orange. Oh, look at those shades, you guys. Those are gorgeous. I cannot wait to play with those, especially in like the spring and summertime. But the shimmers inside here, even for Folklore, they felt even more sheer to me. Let me swatch one more. Let's swatch this one right here. I feel like those two are really pretty opaque. This one seems pretty sheer. The blue seemed pretty sheer. So keep that in mind. If you are into a very opaque, foiled, thick shimmer on the lids, I don't think you'll like these. These are much more topper shade kind of shimmers. As for the lipstick, you guys, I love this lipstick formula. It's amazing. But this one has just like a little nod to like a cooler toned grayish kind of mauve. Kind of like Viva Glam 2, which I absolutely love. That's one of my favorite lipsticks. This reminds me a lot of Viva Glam 2, actually. I love how it looks on the lips. And then the blush, I think, is beautiful. I think this looks really nice on the cheeks. If you are someone that's new into makeup and you're looking for just a basic blush that's affordable from the drugstore, I think this would be a great route to go. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I hope that you guys have a good Valentine's Day this week. I am planning to come back and do at least one more video before Valentine's Day, probably on like a Valentine's Day inspired makeup look or something along those lines, so be sure to check back for that. But I hope that you guys have a great week. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not done that yet, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Okay, see ya. Teenagers. They're so moody and tired all the time. But don't we all just have those nights where you're like, you lay down and once you're down, it's the hardest thing in the world to get back up. Do something like wash off your makeup or change into your pajamas. That was dumb. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. That is it for my hot date makeup look. Am I gonna really put that in my title? I feel like that's kind of a stupid thing to say, but it's Valentine's Day this week. Y'all. Mandy, you don't say y'all. If there's anything wrong with that, it's just not a word that I say. I say things in videos that I don't normally say. I don't know why that happens.